Hello and welcome to the Limitless Landscapers podcast. I'm Paula and today I'm talking about how do you get back on track when you're feeling deflated, demotivated and stuck. So join me over on the show where we will be discussing this in more detail.
As the founder of the Landscapers Circle and the Limitless Landscapers podcast, I am here to help you get more money, time and freedom to make your life and business truly limitless. Through my experiences as the owner of a garden design and landscaping business and through tried and tested methods, if you want help with the marketing, managing and growing of your business, then you are in the right place. If you are a landscaper, garden designer, horticultural business or a supplier to the industry, be sure to hit subscribe so you never miss an episode. Now, let's get back to the show.
Hi guys, so you're joining me this week and we are 3 days into half term and the struggle is truly real. In fact, I put a post out on social media this week saying how grateful I am that I run my own business, and the reason I love it is because I get to choose my own hours and I get to be present for my children and I get to just be there if they are ill or off or they want to go and do something. I get to do that. However, it's a bit of a double-edged sword because I also now am feeling hugely overwhelmed, under pressure and massively stressed because there's actually a very limited period of time I can get actual work done. And having two businesses, it's really key to look at priorities and things like this. So yeah, the struggle is truly real. And although I am truly thankful, I'm also a little bit stressed. So yeah, so I kind of come on to do this sort of impromptu podcast recording this evening because I think it's an important thing to discuss. I also had a one-to-one call with one of our VIP members this week, and we were discussing how you can feel quite stuck, stale and overwhelmed. And we were talking about some tips and advice that I imparted and also what I'm finding myself to keep myself on track, because actually it can feel quite demotivating when you are unable to work on the big things. And if you've been listening here for a while, my huge emphasis is on taking small actions to drive the business forward daily, ideally. And everything was going so well until Easter holidays are upon us. And, you know, there are some things I'd managed to do, which I'll talk about in a minute. But unfortunately, it's kind of derailed me and demotivated me, not because I don't enjoy spending time with the family, but I feel like I'm not getting anywhere fast. And maybe it's because I'm impatient. Maybe it's because I like to practice what I preach. But either way, not feeling that great at the moment. So I thought it would be great to discuss this on the podcast and share with you some tips that I'm going to be using and some things that I spoke to my lovely TLC member about this week. So where do I start? Let's start at the beginning. So having felt quite demotivated and derailed over the last couple of days, the first thing I've done is actually ask for help. And I think that's something as entrepreneurs, business owners, mainly, maybe it just affects wives more than husbands. I don't know. Maybe it's down to the fact that we're the main caregivers in most cases. So you're kind of juggling a few roles. But either way, I've actually managed to ask for help and I have some tomorrow morning. So I'm getting to do a scheduled time slot of work only, so I'm not trying to manage the children as well as work. I get to just focus purely on work for about 4 or 5 hours, so that's going to be a massive help and I'll be able to then look at the list and prioritize. So that's one thing. Ask for help if you are struggling, and I am struggling because I do feel I need that focused time on the business rather than what I think can happen, and it certainly happened to me. Feel free to share your thoughts on this, but essentially I've thought that while the kids are watching some TV or playing, I'll be able to get a chunk of work done. And unfortunately this is not happening because life gets in the way, siblings fight, you get invited to things that you don't want to say no to because you feel like you're then making them miss out. So essentially it's kind of just not happening how I imagined. So things have got to shift slightly. So yeah, asking for help is my number one tip. The second thing, what I've been doing for a while now, which really helps when you're feeling particularly overwhelmed, because overwhelm is just having so much stuff in your head that you feel quite anxious. Maybe sometimes I just feel like going to sleep or crying, one or the other. That'll do, to get rid of the overwhelmed feeling. So what I've been doing is I've got two lists. One's called shit to do, one's called ideas. So if you are a creative, an entrepreneur, a business owner that constantly thinks of new ideas. I mean, I'm very much shiny object syndrome. So I will think of a new idea, a new opportunity, a new collaboration, get really excited about it and have loads of these things all the time. Like, oh, we need to do this, we need to do that. And actually that can take you away from what you're truly focusing on. And it can basically take you off your path that you should be on. And, focus is very important. What you focus on grows. And sometimes these new exciting opportunities, projects, collaborations can derail that and take you off the track. So this is why I have the ideas sheet, and it's just a Word doc. And every time I have an idea, put it up and type the idea out. Now, it doesn't have to be neat and perfect because only you are seeing it, but if you just get out all your ideas, you're not worried about forgetting them, and your brain's thinking of thousands of things at any one point. So you can quite easily forget a lot of things. And then on my shit to-do list, it's essentially a jazzed up to-do list, but I put literally everything on there. So everything that I can think needs doing, whether that's family admin. So I don't know, maybe you've got dentist appointments or vet appointments or swimming courses to go on and stuff like this. Everything like that goes on there, as well as everything to do with the business, whether it's something that crops up as a daily firefighting task, or whether it's one of your big tasks that you're working on as part of your day-to-day. So for me, I'm currently putting together a new masterclass for you guys, and I've been setting some time aside to start putting that together, putting the slides together, putting the content together, and all of that. So that's a big actionable step, I suppose, in smaller chunks. So it's one big thing that I want to do, and I'm breaking it down to smaller chunks, but that still goes on the to-do list. And then the third thing that I do is then prioritize. So the ideas list doesn't get prioritized, that just stays there, so that when you're feeling less overwhelmed and you've got space and you want to do something new, you can go to the ideas list, pull something off there and start that project, that new idea, that new collaboration opportunity. With the shit to-do list, I tend to then prioritize it, and the way I do it is very simple. I just color code it, so anything that's in yellow has to be done that day, and that's my main task. And what I try and do is not to overwhelm my brain. We can't focus on so many things, so highlight the top 5 things that I want to get done that day. Now that's if I have a normal day to get things done. If, like at the moment where I'm just grabbing time as and when, then I'll highlight a lot more, but expect it to be done over the next week or 2. But I just pick out the ones that are most important and time sensitive. The rest of it can then wait. And it does feel good when you get to delete it off the list. However, it does, obviously, you get more stuff added to that list every day. But that's the second thing. I just make a list and then prioritize it. The third thing, and something that I've been looking into myself, is seeing if I can bring on any extra help. At the moment, I'm looking at a VA, and maybe not so virtual, maybe someone that comes in the office to help with all the tasks I really do not like doing that take me away from my big picture, big goals task. So for instance, admin. I'm sure you lot hate admin, but essentially if I can get someone to take the admin off my plate, I can then work on my big project, big focus tasks, things that are going to move the business forward. And the way I like to think about this is, are you doing a job that's £10 an hour, or are you doing a job that's £100 an hour, or even £1,000 an hour? Like, if I can get rid of the jobs that are £10 an hour, my time can be better spent generating the money in the business, which, let's be honest, you're not going to be generating money, you'll be bringing in money, sending out invoices. But if you could get someone to do that for you more quickly and cheaply, then your time is better spent doing something that's going to move the business to the next level. So that might well be working on the new project. It might well be working on that new project. It might well be creating the designs for the clients that have been stacking up because you haven't got time because you're on the tools, you're doing your admin, and you've also got these designs to do that you actually enjoy doing, but you're not doing because you're firefighting with daily tasks that you could potentially hand over to someone else. So I would certainly start looking at what you're doing each day. I mean, some people have even logged what they're doing each day and then can work out from there. The way I've done it over the last week is just write down every task in the business that I really wish I could pass on to somebody else, and then looked at it to see actually who would that suit and how am I going to afford that from a financial perspective, which means going back and looking at your numbers, looking at your cash flow and working out the finances around taking on someone, even if it is like a VA or having someone answer your phone calls. I discussed this with a client this week about, we use answer.co.uk, and they just answer the phones for you, so you never miss an inquiry and you can get back to them, and it's a pay-as-you-go service. So if something happened and you couldn't pay it, you just stop the service for that point and go back to answering the calls yourself. So it's things like this, looking at where you can get rid of the tasks that don't generate the big money that basically you could pay someone to do. So that's another thing that I would look at. The fourth thing is just to sit down and start working through your tasks, which is essentially what I've done this evening. I've just sat down, got myself out of my little funk that I was in, and started to work through methodically the tasks that need doing. And the way I've done it, because I haven't been feeling in that sort of right frame of mind, I have been looking at my mindset this week as well. But I've basically started with the simplest things first. And I would never normally advocate this. I'd normally say, let's go with the hardest things first, get it done. Hence why I have spoken previously about a power hour in the morning. But at this period of time where we have got children off school and lots of activities booked in, I haven't been able to stick to the power hour every day. So what I've decided to do today is just get rid of all the crappy stuff that's on my desk that could be done quite quickly, but are just adding to my overwhelm, adding to the stress that I really could do without. So that's like the emails. I've got to order some marketing stuff for a show garden we're doing. I've got to create some social posts, and I've got to write a couple of articles. So these are things that I can do quite easily, but they've just been mounting up and I've just been burying my head in the sand. So today I've just gone, do you know what? Just crack on, get that done. And then I know that tomorrow I've got a big chunk of time where I can work on the big business stuff. So my masterclass, my book, making contact with people that we can potentially work with and collaborate with. So they're important business, moving the needle forward tasks, and I will work on them and I've got a set time. But just to reduce the overwhelm and get rid of the stuff on my shit to-do list, I'm just going to start working through that tonight. So my advice is just start doing something, even if it's responding to that email or phoning an inquiry back, something that you just think, I've just got another thing to do, it's added to my list. Just start with that. And if you only do that one thing, that's fine. But what usually happens, and from my experience, is you start with one thing and then you think, I'll just do that. I'll just do that. And then you go, I'll just do this bit and I'll just do this. And then by the end of the, couple of hours you've been working, you've actually ticked off 5 or 6 things off your list. Granted, easy things, but you've got them off your list so you can focus on the big important things and you do feel a lot better. Number 5, which I'm just going to highlight, is again something I spoke to a client about this week, and it's about reconnecting with your goals. Like, what is your big plans? Sometimes when we're feeling stuck and overwhelmed and stressed and things aren't going to plan, you can forget about what you actually want your life to look like and be like, and you can actually forget that it's quite an easy thing to do. I mean, I asked this client what they thought they wanted their life and their business to look like, and actually when they said it out loud, it wasn't a 10-year plan. It's sort of like a 3-year plan at best. So sometimes just saying it out loud or writing it down or putting it on your vision board or journaling it out, whatever floats your boat really, can just make you think actually it can be a reality. And we spoke about various ways he could reach that goal quicker and various things he might like to think about doing. And essentially, it is simpler than you actually might think. when you think about big goals, big dreams, you always think they're almost out of reach, but they're not. So I would definitely suggest also at this time of year, we're going into Q2, look at your big goals again. Look at your goals, not just for the year, maybe 3, 4 years, 5 years, 10 years down the line. How do you actually want your life to be? And then start making some decisions now. If you want your life to be stress-free and you don't want to be on the tools, maybe you've got to start thinking about who's going to take your place. Maybe you're thinking about what teams to grow. Maybe you want to move to a different location, in which case you better set up your business either to sell or to continue running with someone running it for you while you're somewhere else. All these things are worth thinking about now, because actually they could become a reality sooner than you anticipated once you start thinking about it. You know, the art of manifestation, you're calling it into your life all the time. And perhaps the decisions you make now will impact on that end goal, and things change. So it's always good to reflect. I love a vision board. When I sit down and do one, I really enjoy it. And actually, I also love a Word document in Comic Sans. I don't know if you know that, but essentially I love just getting a Word document out and mapping out various goals, and then color coding, and getting a little bit creative and putting images on there and stuff. It's so simple. You can just do it when you feel inspired, really. But it's really good to reconnect with your goals and to see what could be possible. Like, let's not limit our possibilities, because everything is possible. You know, we've just got to imagine it and believe it and feel it. So yeah, they're my 5 tips for getting out of stuckness and overwhelm and stress, particularly in the holidays. I feel your pain. If you want to chat, if you want to become a VIP member and have one-to-one coaching with myself through any of these issues that you might be having in your landscaping and garden design business, do get in touch. I love working with you guys. I get you guys. I run my own landscaping and design business. It's not easy. So I do feel for you guys. And if you've got any questions, if you've got any thoughts, please get in touch. info@thelandscapercircle.co.uk. And I will see you next week for hopefully a very different podcast episode. Bye, guys.